Can you believe the long and amazing history of trading cards? As of 2023, the trading card market is exploding once again with things like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and sports cards coming back into style. Every person who collects is always looking to get that exclusive rare card, but this search goes back a very long time. The history of trading begins as prizes that would be accompanying cigarette packs. These would be seen as stiffeners to protect the contents of cigarettes. Allen and Ginter in 1886 and W.D. and H.O. Wills in 1880 would be the two main companies to begin with. These cards were originally small advertisements, however after time they would change to things like pictures of various topics like nature, war, or places to travel. These cards would begin to gain more and more popularity into the 1900s. At one point, over 300 companies were producing these cards. Though collected by the men who bought cigarettes, these cards would actually appeal more to kids. Many times, these children would stand outside of the shops asking for the cards from the men who bought them. However, by the time World War II occurred, they would stop the production of trading cards with cigarettes, which would kill the concept. However, cards would still be in demand with tea cards in the UK and bubblegum cards in the US. Speaking specifically to sports cards, the first ever were believed to be printed in the late 1860s by a sporting goods company. Around the time it became a professional sport, this predated the cigarette card fads. However, during the cigarette card trend is where we began to see popularity of sporting cards. The most popular due to its extreme card value came in the form of the T206 set distributed by the American Tobacco Company in 1909. The popularity of this card set was due to the many legends that it had, but most importantly, the Honus Wagner card, which many considered to be the most valuable card of all time. As time went on, we saw more development with trading cards. By 1933, the Goody Gum Company became the first to include information regarding players on their cards. They would include things like the players' biographies, and they would be the first to pair baseball cards and gum. Bowman Gum out of Philadelphia would also develop similar cards in 1948. Both Goody and Bowman, though no longer independent, are still popular card brands. In the 1950s, Topps would change the game of trading cards. Originally, they would introduce TV and film characters and topics, but would eventually move on to sports. Topps would be the first company to not only provide a player bio, but they would also include statistics on the back of their cards. In 1952, they would produce the most popular card set to come after the T206 set. This 1952 Topps set would include the Mickey Mantle number 311 card, which recently sold for over $12 million. The first ever football card would be of Yale player Henry W. Beecher in 1888 by Goodwin & Company with their cigarettes. But this is only an individual card. The first real football set would come from National Chicle Company, releasing with 36 cards in 1935. The first basketball cards came in 1910 as part of a premium cigarette redemption. It would be called the College Athlete Felts B33 series. The first NBA-related cards would come with the Bowman Gum 1948 set, which had 72 cards, including a George McCann rookie card. For hockey, the first cards came from Imperial Tobacco Company in 1910 for the inaugural NHL season. There would be 36 cards in this collection. Unlike baseball, basketball, and football, the main producer of these cards after the tobacco card era would not be a Topps or Bowman. It would actually come from O-Pee-Chee in 1941. Topps would not start producing hockey cards until 1954. Over the years, we've seen a shift in popularity of sports cards. What started as a focus only on baseball has transcended to other sports. Baseball cards were the industry leader for sports cards, as throughout the early 1900s and even into the 1980s, it was considered to be the most popular sport in America, which led to more collectability. In the 1950s, Topps began to see the value in the trading card market, and in 1956, they would make a huge decision to buy their biggest competitor, Bowman Gum, in 1956. This move made Topps control the market share for trading in sports card, setting up the new history for the industry. Topps had become the new standard for cards. They were the leader in the industry from 1956 on. They made everything from sports to Star Wars to Garbage Pail Kids. Topps would make their biggest decision and change in 1991 and 1992 when they would officially eliminate adding gum and the use of wax paper. These moves were made to better appease collectors who didn't want to damage cards. In the 90s, we would see the growth of non-sports related cards as well. These would be considered collectible cards, which would be introduced with Magic the Gathering in 1993. The idea of these types of collectible cards games came from the concept of sports card trading, but putting it into the form of a game, thus creating a need to collect as well as make trades and play a game, essentially combining the fun aspect of a game with the need to collect all the cards. Magic the Gathering took aspects of games like Dungeons and Dragons, pairing it with the ability to collect. This would lead to things like tournaments, events, and conventions. The concept of collectible card games would open many doors for the industry. The move by Wizards of the Coast to produce these cards totally changed the game. Many popular collectible card games would come out of this, resulting in arguably the most popular card game of all time, Pokemon. Pokemon would develop into an icon in the world of card gaming. It would be what every card game tried to become. Some would say in the middle of the 2000s, the collectible card game and sporting card industry took a hit. They did not have the same value as they once did, many stated due to oversaturation of the market and overproduction. But we can see today that the market is as strong as ever. People are on the hunt for rare vintage Pokemon cards and doing live sports card pack openings searching for one-of-ones. TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube can be credited with the major comeback of the card industry, as it has created new relevance to the value of the products. Do you enjoy collecting? Show us or tell us below your favorite collectible pieces. Did you know about the history of trading? Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Believable Truths.